So Charlotte, roguelikes are a dime a dozen nowadays. You know, there's all these ones on Steam, PSN, Xbox Live Arcade. But how many of them have Pokemon in them?
I think around 5.
Pretty much. So we're here today to look at the 5th Pokémon Mystery Dungeon game, Pokémon Super Mystery Dungeon. So these games, they kind of all fall under the same storyline. You're a human who gets transformed into a Pokémon, who then becomes an adventurer, and then shenanigans ensue.
Yeah, so it is a pretty fun roguelike. It's much better than Gates to Infinity, which
was the last game.
Yes, which is the last game, which a number of people who were fans of the other games, including myself, didn't like. But I had a lot of fun with Pokémon Super Mystery Dungeon. It definitely went back to its old form.
Right, and that's kind of the thing I love about these games. So compared to kind of all the other roguelikes out there, these ones are a lot more, it's kind of this weird mixture of, here are these games that are complex, they're actually a lot more detailed, a lot more out there than, say, Binding of Isaac or Crypt and Necrodancer. But they're also, because it's a Pokemon game, it's also aimed slightly younger. So you have it's a really nice balance of the complexity if you want it.
Yeah, so the base game is fairly simplistic, it's nice, but then if you want to go into the more deeper stuff like I like to do, there's a lot of things there for you to manipulate, which is pretty great.
And it's still a Pokemon game, so you have to still actually worry about type advantage and type disadvantage. So, hey, take a fire Pokemon, go into a water dungeon, and then see how long you last.
Yeah, that was fun. And it's nice as well in battle when you go to select a move, it'll come up and it'll actually tell you whether attacks are super effective, not very effective, don't affect the Pokemon. This game is, yeah, pretty nice.
And not to mention, there's a lot to do in this game. Like, there's a surprising amount of content. Like, to be fair though, it does take a while to get going. Like, for me, it took like maybe 2-3 hours before the story really started to get going. But if you're willing to stick with that, and the story may not be for everyone, but if you're willing to stick with it and kind of go for the complexities of this game has, I think you've got something really special here.
Yeah, for sure. Like the sort of the main story is sort of short, but then there's a fair bit of post-game, fair bit more story. There's a lot more missions to do, a lot more Pokemon to recruit. There's a really cool way of recruiting Pokemon via the connection orb, where you do a quest for one person and suddenly you have like 3 more people pop up. It's really, really cool.
So it's like social media.
Pretty much, social media, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon thing.
Oh god, that's terrifying. That's honestly the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. But all that said, you know, if you're looking for a great little roguelike and you kind of would like to try something a little different, Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon is the game for you.
Absolutely.